All right, you guys, good afternoon. Today we are going to be doing a couple of things. The first thing we're going to look at is how to graph lines using the intercepts. So you learned last Friday how to find the x and y intercepts. So we're going to start there. We're going to start by finding the x and y intercepts by plugging in our zeros when solving. So for example, when I find the x-intercept, in this problem, we know that we're going to plug in a 0 for y because any point along the x-axis is always going to have a y value of 0. So we start by plugging in 0 for the y. That leaves us with 2x equals 12 and x equals 6. It's really important that we write in that coordinate right there and then, because my concern is that you're going to think that x is 6 and y is whatever value you get and think that's the point that you're going to plot. I'll tell you more about that in just a moment. Now we're ready to find our y-intercept. So here we're going to plug in a 0 for x because we know any point on the y-axis has an x value of 0. So we've got 2 times 0 plus 3y equals 12. 3y equals 12, which makes our y value 4. And again, like I said, I immediately write down the coordinates of that point. My concern is that students are going to think the wrong thing. It would be wrong to say that you've got a point at 6, 4. It's a big mistake that I've seen students make in the past, and then they plot that point and they don't know what to connect it to. So we want to make sure not to do that. We want to make sure we understand that 6, when we solve for x, that 6 means that we have a point at 6, 0. And when we solve for y, when we get 4, we understand the point is 0, 4. Now we're on to step 2, which is where we are going to take those 2 points that we know how to find and plot them and connect them. So I've got a point at 6, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm a little off the line there, but that's okay. 6, 0, and 0, 4. Now that I've got those 2 points, and these are the only 2 points that I'm going to plot, I'm ready to connect them. So I've got my x-intercept, my y-intercept, and I connect them. And there's the graph using x and y intercepts. It's one of the main purposes of using standard form is being able to graph using the x and y intercept. What's kind of interesting is if you're looking for any kind of patterns, and that's really what algebra is all about, you can find the slope on this line, and what you'll notice if you make one of those fancy slope triangles is when we count our rise over our run, we go down 1, 2, 3, 4, over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which gives us a slope of -2/3. We talked about this on Friday, and what I want you to start thinking about is that -2/3 is actually shown to us somehow when we see the equation in standard form. So if we were to put the coefficient of x, which we call a, over the coefficient of y, which is what we call b, we would see that that would be 2/3. There's something kind of interesting about the fact that this is a negative, and we'll get to that next. All right, let's try one more of these practice problems. So we've got an equation 5x plus 2y equals 10. We're ready to find our x and y intercepts. So for my x-intercept, I've got 5x plus 2 times 0 equals 10. Simplifies to 5x equals 10. And there we have x equals 2. Again, 2, 0. I want to remember that x is only 2 when y is 0, and that's why I write that in immediately. Next, I've got 5 times 0 plus 2y equals 10. 2y equals 10, and y equals 5. So when x is 0, y is 5. Remember, we don't want to get stuck in a situation where we do it the wrong way and go, oh, x is 2, y is 5. That's where I'm going to plot my point. So please, please, please make sure that you do not do that. We are now ready to plot our points. 2 points on the graph with the x-intercept and the y-intercept, the only 2 points that go on this graph. 2, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are my 2 points. I'm ready to connect them. And this is the graph of our line. And if we're ready to look for patterns one more time and look at our slope triangle, I can see I'm going down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 2. Slope of this line is negative 5 over 2. Do you notice anything? You should. And that's really what we're going to get to next. So for tonight, these 2 problems that you just did are exactly what you're going to do for numbers 16 through 18. I'm going to stop this video now, and we're going to get into the second part of the problem next. But I'm going to do that in a separate video so that I do not run out of time here. So, see you in a minute.